You should probably watch Anna's episode before this one to get a fuller picture of my opinions on Frozen. Click on the screen now, or the link is in the description below. For those of you who just need a refresher or are too lazy to click a link, I'll give you a brief summary. I love Frozen. I always have. I probably always will. Anna is my second favourite princess behind Merida, and this,
"Take me up the North Mountain,"
is the dirtiest euphemism I've ever heard. An adaptation of The Snow Queen had actually been in the works since the 1930s, when Walt Disney himself pitched the idea of a biopic of author Hans Christian Andersen, featuring animated shorts of his better-known fairy tales, including The Snow Queen and The Little Mermaid. It struggled to get off the ground due to writing difficulties, then World War II hit, halting production entirely, whilst Disney made those wonderfully insensitive propaganda films. Decades later, the feature-length Little Mermaid propelled us into the Disney Renaissance, and the idea of adapting another Andersen fairy tale was considered, the obvious choice being The Snow Queen. Several writers and producers juggled with it. Even Pixar had their hands on it for a while, but no one was confident enough to take it to the big screen until the team of Tarzan's co-director Chris Buck, Wreck-It Ralph's screenwriter Jennifer Lee, and Winnie the Pooh's songwriters Robert and Kristen Lopez spent 4 years figuring out how to tell this damn story. Unbelievable, right? What could these outstandingly talented creators be having so much difficulty with? Yep, the titular character. Not that I blame them, Elsa is a tricky character to modernise, although they did kind of fuck themselves over a bit with the terrible decisions the parents made to protect Anna from Elsa's powers, or more specifically, not addressing those terrible decisions. I know it's hard to paint their characters with a negative brush, especially for Disney, but it is possible. I'm not even saying the parents were bad people, they clearly had best interests at heart, but they were still wrong. And I don't think it would have made the writers look evil for pointing that out. Anyway, where Anna is relatable for kids, Elsa is relatable for adults. As a child, she exhibits a talent but has restrictions imposed on her. She feels stifled, her confidence and self-esteem crumble, and suddenly she's an adult, taking on responsibilities she didn't ask for, and is expected to know how to handle them and herself whilst feeling woefully underprepared. I don't know if that sounds familiar to any other adults, but that is basically a play-by-play of my life. And the analogy doesn't end there. When something inevitably goes wrong, she has the option to accept the blame, explain her differences, and try to fix the damage caused. She doesn't take it. She runs away. Every adult has felt this kind of pressure, and it's an extremely well-done illustration of the worst-case scenario. There's a nice little added bonus, though I'm not 100% sure it was intentional. Elsa's adult story kicks in just after Anna takes one of her gloves, revealing her secret. Literally, taking off the kid gloves. See? There's something there. In a way, Elsa's reminiscent of the early princesses. She's more of a catalyst than an action taker, and she's driven primarily by emotion. The difference is that when, say, Snow White is driven by emotion, it plays out like chess pieces moving across a board. When Elsa is driven by emotion, it puts everyone around her in danger, and also manifests in an aesthetically interesting way. And when Snow White is a catalyst, it leads to a cute dance scene with 7 dwarfs. When Elsa is a catalyst, she almost accidentally dooms a whole kingdom. To quote another Idina Menzel character, who Elsa is eerily similar to, no? She doesn't cause commotions, she is one. And that, in my eyes, is much more entertaining. Oh, this is getting really annoying now. Purely for the production of Princess Project, you understand. After decades upon decades of romance being the be-all end-all, I'm embracing the few princesses who are bucking this trend. Not that Elsa's story is devoid of love. It's just a different kind. Platonic, familial love. I have to say, the first time I saw the reveal of Anna's love saving the day, I nearly applauded right there in the cinema. As much as I had a problem with Anna's romances, I was certain it was Kristoff's kiss that would break the spell. I mean, I've had that solution drilled into my head for 26 years, can you blame me? So yes, big thumbs up for subverting the trope. But for those of you saying it's new and revolutionary, sorry, no. You may have missed it in all the knotted plot threads, but Brave actually did that too. And if we're taking into account non-princess movies, so did Lilo and Stitch, The Incredibles, and Finding Nemo. So this isn't new, but it's never been the norm before. And now it's been featured in the biggest Disney hit of all time, I think that's where we're headed. Romance in Disney will never die, and it's good that it won't. We all need that fuzzy feeling every now and then. But the pedestal Disney puts it on now is much, much lower, and other values are being impressed on today's audiences. Like Merida, Elsa's dream is more of an anti-dream, in that it's more about what she doesn't want, which is to hurt people with her powers. Unusually, Elsa actually achieves her dream less than halfway into the movie. She runs away to live in solitude where there is no one to hurt. She then has that dream harshly taken away from her, and she's forced to confront her unhappiness. It's a very Wreck-It Ralph style moral. Sometimes you just can't have it exactly your way, and you have to work a little bit harder to make your life, if not perfect, then comfortable. Her story actually punishes passivity, something Disney princesses of the past have been very prone to. Since Snow White, we've been told that sitting back and wishing will eventually be rewarded. We've had more active princesses since then, of course, but for the most part, they haven't quite managed to shake off that air of entitlement. Ariel had to end up as a human, Pocahontas had to have the moral high ground, Tiana had to open her restaurant, and if they didn't get it, it was simply unfair. Which, okay, in Tiana's case it kind of was. But here's Elsa, cursed from birth. All she does is wish it away, and that just makes things worse. By addressing what she perceives as a weakness, she discovers a strength. And it's not easy, it's physically and emotionally demanding for her, but she has to do it. It's a great way to resonate with adults, and a good precursor of life for kids. More of this, please, Disney? Elsa is so intriguing. In the 2 years since Frozen was released, her character has kept building and building in my mind, even when I'm not watching it. And I'm not done. I can guarantee you, between writing this episode and uploading it, I'll have thought of 100 more things to say about her. And judging by the amount of fan fiction, fan videos and fan theories that litter the internet, I'm not the only one. Say what you like about fan art, it shows that a movie has resonated with a viewer and is inspiring critical and creative thought, and I can only see that as a positive thing. Well, most of the time. Really? Join me next time for the Geeky Gals of Big Hero 6.
The cold never bothered me anyway.